This story took place more than 2 decades ago, at the beginning of the new millennium. At the time, I was about 18 years old and full of ambition to explore new possibilities, often without giving much thought to the possible consequences or problems that might arise in the future. I am recording this experience to convey to others the excitement of my first encounters and how they happened. It is clear from my story that I was quite young and did not have significant experience with women my age. Although I had a friendship with one girl and things seemed to be going positively, I had not yet fully immersed myself in the realm of adult relationships. Life was going on, but a twist of fate changed everything. I hadn't yet experienced the delights of a real adult relationship. It all started on a warm summer evening when I was washing my dad's car. We lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. It was one of those places outside the big city where people were mostly middle class. There was a family living across the street from our house, a husband, wife, and their daughter who was about my age. My parents interacted with them from time to time. Just a neighborly hello and the occasional favor, like helping fix the car or sitting on a bench to chat. But nothing more than that. I had a big crush on our neighbor, whom I'll call Natalie. She was about 38 or 39 years old at the time and had an extraordinary beauty. Her long, curly hair framed her face perfectly, and her figure was neither overly slender nor overly full, but rather elegantly proportioned. Her marvelous facial features were complemented by a mysterious smile that, at least in my perception, seemed to be directed at me. Thus begins my narrative. I was washing my car when my parents went into town for a concert of their favorite rock band. Natalie's husband was gone too, and she planned to watch TV. She came out to me in short shorts and a tight black t-shirt with a revealing neckline, and let me tell you, my head went spinning. She mentioned in passing that her TV wasn't working and asked if I could help her. Wild thoughts stirred in my teenage mind. The week before, as I was washing my grandmother's car, she had walked by and complimented me on my help. She even winked at me and waved as she continued on her way, which surprised me. The day before, as I was coming back from the store, she had struck up a conversation with me about the weather and other topics. However, when her TV broke and no one else was in the house, I eagerly offered my help. When I entered the house, she was wearing a short robe and led me into the living room where the TV was. While I fiddled with the wires, she went to put the kettle on. It didn't take long to fix the problem, just a loose connection. But then she invited me in for tea, and I couldn't refuse. We sat on the sofa, drinking tea and eating chocolate. Then I noticed the strong odor of alcohol on her breath, and it all made sense: the smiles, the boldness. She poured herself 3 mugs of tea, maybe more. At one point, I saw fit to apologize and asked where the restroom was. She rose from her seat, took my hand, and led me down the hall. Pointing to the bathroom, she apologized, but then abruptly decided to take a shower, citing that she was hot. I thought I'd do a quick pee and leave, but before I knew it, she had already changed and stepped into the shower. The glass partition was slightly see-through, and her body language seemed to express some kind of wish. I don't know what came over me, but I couldn't resist. Within moments, I was there with her, experiencing things I couldn't even imagine. That night changed everything for me. And from the way she smiled at me as we passed each other on the street afterward, I knew it wasn't just a one-time encounter. But the summer came to an end, and I never got another invitation from her. I went to college, and thoughts of Natalie disappeared from my mind. A few years later, I learned from my father that they had moved. Their daughter had gotten married, and Natalie had divorced her husband. The reason wasn't me, she was into something else. The house was sold. New people moved in, and the memories of that summer with my neighbor's wife slowly faded into the past.